Conflict in marriage is inevitable, but if handled properly, it can also be healthy. According to authors Tim and Joy Downs in their book, The Seven Conflicts, a couple who never learn how to effectively manage their conflicts begin a series of stages in their relationship that can ultimately destroy it. So, what is marital conflicts? Marital conflicts is a series of events that have been poorly handled so as to deeply damage the marriage relationship. These conflicts should not lead to divorce. The best approach to making the marriage work is to prevent marital conflicts. Therefore, one should try their best to keep the marriage and avoid divorce. Islam is a practical religion. It takes into consideration all possible common scenarios. It is possible for a man and a woman to enter into a union with good intentions, yet their personalities and likes do not coincide with one another. Based on this, Islamic law allows for an end of the marriage and their suffering. This is to ensure that they stay together in a friendly manner or to separate in a good manner.
When there is a conflict in the marriage, it can be settled in several ways. Firstly, marriage couples who can remain rationalized throughout their issues are more likely to find peaceful resolutions that serve the interests of both parties. Getting caught up on one side of the argument does not allow for any flexibility with understanding the other's concerns. So, as a conflict grows, the odds of meeting in the middle are highly diminished. To combat these dysfunctions, partners must learn to rationalize an argument from an objective standpoint. They must remove their ego and consider both sides of the coin without bias or personal gain. Operating within this mode will allow for a reasonable discussions as well as having the openness to accept the other partner's standpoint. When couples can rationalize and be objective, they are well suited to handle a variety of issues. In addition, ability to forgive and forget significantly contribute to marriage satisfactions and often rate as one of the most important factors that affect relationship longevity. Forgiveness and forget in marriage has been linked to relationship qualities, attributions, and empathy. So, for example, when there's a problem between a couple, immediately apologize, and after apologizing, we should forget what has happened so that there is no revenge in the heart and for the sake of the peace in the marriage. Besides, counseling also, when there is a problem in the marriage, we should seek advice from a family or trusted colleague. Those with stress and have married may be able to help us in providing insight and solutions to a problem because of the experience they have. For example, when there is a fight in the marriage, one can refer to seek advice from their own parent to prevent unwanted things from happening in the marriage. Next, if in the opinion of family or college it does not help, it is the best for both couples to see a marriage counselor for advice and peace. This is because they are most expert and they are more responsible for complaints and resolving household problems as well as planning and implementing activities or programs. To strengthen family institutions with this initiative cannot solve problems that occur between couples. But if there is no solution in their conflict, they can see the court, which is Sharia court. Sutakim is a process whereby the disputing parties agree to appoint someone to act as an arbitrator for the settlement of the issues in dispute between them. There should be clear pronouncements that a person has been appointed as an arbitrator. For example, the parties should say, "We have appointed you as a hakam to judge over." The rationale of these institutions is to serve as a useful and effective means for the Sharia court to reduce the rate of divorce among the Muslim couples. Firstly, Conciliatory Committee, Sections 47, Subsection 5 until Subsection 17 of the Islamic Family Law, cases where applications for divorce is filed by either a husband or wife, and there is a reasonable possibility of a reconciliation. Second, arbitrations by hakam. Section 48, Subsection 1 until Subsection 5 of the Islamic Family Law, cases where shikak between the parties are persisting, thus it is for the court to investigate shikak in the marriage, whether there is any chance of reconciliations between the parties and whether steps have been taken to effect reconciliations.
How Islam perceives divorce. First, divorce according to Islamic law is similar to a painful surgery. The sane human being endures the pain of his wound, even an amputation, in order to protect the remaining parts of the body to keep away greater injury. Second, divorce is permissible in Islam in order to remove the harm from one of the two spouses.
Okay, so next is the implications of marital conflicts. So it is usually divided into three, which is psychological, physical, and also familial. So conflicts in marriage can affect you psychologically. This is usually because the conflicts in marriages can make you feel insecure about yourself and also make you overthink. Therefore, this will lead to depression, anxiety, and also eating disorders. So from that, it could also affect you physically. Despite the fact that married people are usually healthier than single people, conflicts in marriages can also lead to poorer health conditions due to the psychological effects which was mentioned before. It will raise the certain diseases such as heart disease as well as cancer and chronic diseases. Other than that, the conflicts in marriages can affect family life in different ways. As an example, it may decrease the performance of the parents and the compatibility of the children and increase conflicts among all the family members that could include the parents, children, and also siblings. So the evaluation of the effect of conflicts in marriages on the physical and psychosocial health of children has indicated that such conflicts adversely affected the emotional safety of children. In general, such conflicts exert negative effects on the children and result in their insecure attachment to the parents. So then is the pillars of talaq, which is pillars of divorce, which first you need is a husband, and second you need a wife. And if in the case of kinayah divorce, which is the indirect way of divorcing, we need sigah, which is intention. So prevention of conflicts, it is best to calm down first, as your peace of mind is truly essential to ensure that you initiate a healthy argument with your significant other. So secondly is to rectify your perception on what marriage actually is. So it is worth noting that Allah Almighty has specifically said that ye may know each other, symbolizing that we aren't similar at all, and it requires a continuous effort of getting to know each other. So third is to confront your spouse in a decent manner. The right thing to do is to keep your marital problems a secret from the eyes of the public, and to confront your spouse in a decent manner and polite manner. Listen to them attentively, be open-minded, be objective, and stay on topic. Finally, reach a solution together towards harmony and tranquility. And fourth, avoid the you and make it an I. When you begin to make it a you problem and not a them problem, it gives your spouse the ability to help you minimize conflict without being too defensive. And finally is to be ready to forgive or seek forgiveness, as there is no point in being defensive, knowing you or your partner is in the right or winning in an argument. In the marriage, it's either both of you win or lose, and that is your decision to make.
So today, I will talk about types of dissolution of marriage. There are many types of dissolution of marriage, such as talaq, arbitration by hakam, fasaq, qulu, li'an, ta'liq, presumption of death, and change of religion. Okay, the first one is talaq. Talaq is defined as dissolution of a valid marriage contract forthwith or at a later date by the husband, his agent, or his wife duly authorized by him to do so, using the word talaq, a derivative or synonym tirif. It is the legal method whereby a marriage is brought to an end. Next, arbitration by hakam. Arbitrator is appointed by a court when there is continuous dispute, which is shiqaq, between husband and wife. Hakam can order a divorce if it is empowered by their respective principles. The third one is ta'liq. Literally means to hang or suspend. The wife would be entitled to a divorce upon the breach of the condition set by the husband to his wife. And then fasaq. Fasaq literally means to annul a deed or rescind a bargain. Fasaq may be defined as the dissolution of rescission of contract of marriage by judicial decree based on any circumstance permitted by Islamic law in accordance with the provision in the Islamic family law. So, the next one is qulu'. Just as Sharia provides for a husband to divorce his wife, the wife can also ask for divorce if sufficient ground exists for it. Literally, qulu' means to pull out or to remove. It refers to a method of divorce in which the wife seeks release from marriage by paying a specific amount as redemption to a talaq. It referred to the story of Thabit bin Qais. Then, li'an. Li'an signifies a form of divorce by means of invoking curse when the husband accuses his wife without legal proof for adultery directly or indirectly, such as he denies the paternity of a child born out of his wife during wedlock and the wife denies it. The next one is presumption of death. If the wife thinks that her husband is dead or she had not heard or known his whereabouts for more than 4 years, she has the right to apply to Sharia court to declare that her husband is dead. And the last one is change of religion. Apostasy by one of the spouses brings an end to a valid marriage. However, that renunciation by either of the party by conversion to a different religion shall not by itself operate to dissolve the existing marriage unless the Sharia court confirm it.
Ancillary claims. The first one is deferred mahar and gift. Mahar is a contract some Muslims enter into upon marriage. In Islamic law, it is a gift or contribution made by the husband-to-be to his wife-to-be for her exclusive property and as a mark of respect for the bride and as recognition of her independence. It is not, however, a gift in the traditional sense, but is in fact obligatory and the wife-to-be receive it as a right. It may be payable at once or deferred. The second one is accommodation or residence. It is an order for the husband not to turn their wife from the house, which means that the husband must keep their wife until the end of period of iddah. A divorced woman is entitled to stay in the house where she used to live when she was married for so long as the husband is not able to get other suitable accommodation for her. The third one is maintenance during iddah. A court may order a man to pay maintenance to his wife or former wife. This shows that a husband is obliged to give maintenance to his wife during the subsistence of their marriage, and this obligation continues after the dissolution of their marriage. In determining the amount of any maintenance to be paid, the court should base its assessment primarily on the means and needs of the parties. The first one is muta'ah, consolatory gift. It is property that is paid or given by the husband to his wife because the marriage has come to an end. The wife who has been divorced without reasonable cause may apply for mut'ah, which is consolatory gift. The purpose of payment consolatory is to ease the feeling of the wife who has been divorced without just cause. It is payable in all cases of divorce except where the divorce is at the instance of the wife. Next is jointly acquired property or harta sepencarian. Harta sepencarian is a claim for a share of jointly acquired property. The right is the one that arises under Malay custom. Property jointly acquired by husband and wife during the subsistence of the marriage, either it is direct or indirect contribution in line with the conditions stated in the Hukum Syarak. The last one is hadana and maintenance of children. Hadana means the protection of the child or insane person who is unable to depend on himself. It is agreed that mother should be the best person to be entitled to the custody of her infant children during the conjugal relationship as well as after dissolution.
In conclusion, before we end our presentation, it is encouraged to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always protect our marriage and guide us in handling conflicts in the best possible ways.